This is honestly just getting out of hand. Welcome to my channel, Outspoken Samantha. If you are new here, welcome. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you're returning, welcome back. I truly appreciate your support, and I hope that you are subscribed as well, particularly if you are watching on Rumble, because we do need to support platforms that support free speech. So I know that it's been a few days since I created a video and uploaded a video for my channel. I honestly thought that with summer vacation, with the kids being out of school and not having as much of a structured schedule, that I would have more time to create content, but it turns out that it's been actually a lot harder to find time to get things done. So this is where we're at. I am uploading as often as I can. I'm hoping to kind of create a summer schedule that allows me to do this more regularly and touch on all of the issues that I follow every single day, because I do pay attention to a lot of things that are going on, but I also don't want to create a video just for the sake of creating a video. So I want to make sure that I have my thoughts together and that I have something productive to add to the conversation about those topics. So that's where we're at right now. So if you are watching this on YouTube, this is your daily reminder to go create an account on Rumble and to subscribe to my channel there, because it is becoming more and more important to start to get into the habit of using these other platforms, because YouTube knows that people rely heavily on their platform to get the kind of content that they're used to getting. They rely heavily on YouTube being the app that they know how to use, the platform that people know how to use, because it is difficult to get used to something else, how something else runs. And sometimes people can be resistant to that. So we're just like, whatever, I'm just going to keep using what I know, despite what they're doing to stifle conversation, to go against the First Amendment. But I do think that the more that we use these other platforms, the more that they will have the revenue and the usership that will allow them to improve the platform and make it more consistent with what we're used to. So let's make the effort to do that, because I am going to touch on why this is so important. So YouTube really is cracking down on not just the censorship of speech. It's not just a matter of preventing bullying and harassing other people, but they're cracking down on the ability to say things that are true, and they're pulling the rug out from under people that say things that are true. They say, you know, we understand that you make money on our platform, but in order to do so, you have to stop saying the things that are actually factually correct, and you have to say the things that we want you to say, whether they're true or not. So essentially, your revenue and your income on YouTube relies on you lying. As I mentioned in one of my last videos recently, Matt Walsh had his entire channel demonetized because of how he addresses the gender ideology issue, meaning he consistently exposes it for exactly what it is, and he exposes the true underlying incentives that are driving doctors to perform these life-altering, mutilating surgeries on children. He did one a while ago where he exposed videos of doctors talking about all of the money that they get. This was at the Vanderbilt Clinic in Tennessee. All the money that they get when they bring children into getting these surgeries, and how much money that brings in for the hospital. And not only that, but how much money it brings in because that child is now basically a revolving door of medical appointments for the rest of their life.
Some of our BUMC financial folks in October of 2016, starting a couple years ago, put down some costs of how much money we think each patient would bring in. And this is only including top surgery. This isn't including any bottom surgery. And it's a lot of money. These surgeries make a lot of money. So female to male chest reconstruction can bring in $40,000. A patient just on routine hormone treatment, who I'm only seeing a few times a year, can bring in several $1,000s. That requires a lot of visits and labs. It actually makes money for the hospital.
He did another expose just a few days ago where he talked about another clinic. I can't remember the name of it, but I will link the video in the description box below so you can watch it, where he showed us that all of these safeguards that people talk about that are in place to make it seem like they're keeping children from making hasty decisions when it comes to these surgeries, to make it seem like they have all of these steps that need to be completed before a child will be approved for this surgery, that those safeguards are really just an illusion, and they're really just kind of to cover their butt in case somebody comes back to them and exposes them for not being as thorough in this approval process as they claim to be. And in this investigation, we heard things that we've had come from people that have detransitioned or who have gone through this process that they have said happened to them, where essentially this letter of approval is basically just a template where the information is copy and pasted from one patient to the next. Of course, personal information is changed, and anything that might be more specifically pertinent to that individual person might be adjusted, but they're also adjusting the verbiage to give that impression that this person does have an official diagnosis of gender dysphoria, pretty much doing whatever they need to do to get that person onto the operating table as quickly as possible. And it's just this rubber stamp process. So again, the safeguards that they're saying that are in place are an illusion, and they're not really keeping anybody safe. We're also having confirmed in these investigations is something that we all know to be true, is that there are a lot of motivating factors behind pushing this ideology, whether it be activism or money or just destruction of society in general through, our authoritarian politicians that are in power right now. But none of the motivating factors include just this next generation of kids just being so enlightened that they've discovered for themselves that the true nature of human beings is to have no gender at all and to use drugs and surgery to achieve who they're truly supposed to be. And then just a couple of days ago, we found out that Candace Owens and Michael Knowles, that their channels were being targeted for the same reasons. That essentially YouTube said that they needed to take down videos where they were talking about gender ideology in the way that they talk about it, which is in the truthful way, or videos where they misgendered somebody or used, pronouns that were not pronouns that the person would want them to use, anything like that. Essentially, any videos where they were talking about this issue in a non-YouTube approved way, that in order to get their monetization back, that they would have to take these videos down. And at this point, their channels have actually been suspended, probably until they issue an Anthony Bass-like apology to the woke mob.
I made a post that was hurtful to the Pride community, which includes friends of mine and close family members of mine, and I am truly sorry for that. I just spoke with my teammates and shared with them my actions yesterday. I apologized with them, and as of right now, I'm using the Blue Jays resources to better educate myself, to make better decisions moving forward.
And then I saw another video by Liz Wheeler yesterday that her channel has been demonetized for the same reason. I believe that they were already on this monetization suspension. There's a whole, the way this all works, I don't really want to go into, but they were on this suspension of their monetization for like 30 days or something like that. And then at the stroke of midnight, before they could reapply for the monetization for their channel, they got another strike, which extended that demonetization. And again, just for the same reasons as the previously mentioned channels. And then I also know that Sarah Gonzalez, that her channel has been demonetized. So it's all for the same reason and it's about how we talk about this gender ideology issue and about how much truth is being exposed. And of course, the authoritarians in office cannot have people hearing the truth. Again, this is really not just about censorship anymore. This is about big tech companies bullying people into staying silent about the facts and only allowing us to speak if we are willing to say things that are false and destructive and harmful and will contribute to the destruction of America, because that's what this ideology is for. What this demonstrates to me, as it should demonstrate to you, is that it doesn't matter how much you try to play by the rules. I know that Matt Walsh and Michael Knowles probably don't try as much, but I know that Liz Wheeler and Sarah both have tried to self-censor and tried to play by the rules of YouTube. But again, it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter until you fall in line and until you repeat the same phrases as the leftist zombie next to you, until you abandon all measure of reasoning and independent thought and just do what they say. And just for the record, my channel does qualify for monetization, but I've applied for it twice now and they've refused to approve me both times. So my channel isn't going to be threatened by losing an income stream because they're not ever going to allow me to use my platform to earn an income. So I guess that's probably a blessing in disguise. So all that to say, please go over to Rumble, create an account, subscribe there. I'll even pause the video right now and give you a minute to go subscribe to my channel on Rumble. I'm also looking at doing something on Spotify and, releasing my videos just in that way, in the audio version. But if you're anything like me, even if you do put on a video on YouTube or Rumble, I put in my earbuds just so I can listen. So video doesn't really matter as much most of the time. I'm also looking at doing things like Twitter Spaces. I've heard of a platform called Outkick, so I'm going to have to look into that. If you know anything about any other platforms that I might need to look at, please drop it in the comments below. Or what platforms do you use other than YouTube? Or if YouTube never existed again, what would be your next go-to? So I'm interested in all of your answers. I also wanted to touch on this secondary issue because I do feel like it's relevant to this conversation. As much as YouTube and other platforms are trying to censor the information that we say and the things that we say about gender ideology and exposing it for what it is, as much as they are trying to suppress the facts on this issue, I wanted to let you guys know that there is still a lot of hope for the next generation. As much as we see gender ideology literally being pushed into every aspect of our lives, from like all corners of the universe, it's literally everywhere. There are kids who are pushing back, because as it turns out, as much as gender activists want you to believe that this is something that they can socially construct into the next generation, this is not a natural progression for human beings, and kids know that this is being forced on them, and there are young people that are standing up. So I came across this story today. This is from an article in the Daily Mail UK. It says Massachusetts middle schools tore down pride decorations and chanted that their pronouns were USA in a striking protest after they were asked to wear rainbow colors to school. Students at Marshall Simmons Middle School in Burlington, Massachusetts were asked to wear rainbow colored shirts to celebrate Pride Month on June 2nd. But a pre-planned protest broke out with students tearing up pride flag stickers and chanting, "USA are my pronouns." Decked out in red, white, and blue, the students destroyed the decorations lining the hallway the student organization Spectrum Group distributed, including a quote from American playwright Tennessee Williams signage saying the school was a safe space and equality for everyone decorations. I was shocked and horrified, Nyla Almstrom, a parent of an LGBT student, said at a town hall meeting about the protest. Parents have told local news outlets their straight identifying students said they felt forced to participate. "My daughter just said, 'You know, Mom, that's offensive to me. I am straight,'" Christine Steiner told WCVB. Some of the kids threw the stickers on the ground, but I can only speak for my daughter. She just didn't want to wear that to school. It's not that she wanted to hurt anyone's feelings. However, Burlington Public Schools said in a letter to parents that the district is obligated to provide a safe environment for all students to feel safe, seen, and respected without retaliation. I recognize that discussions and celebrations of individual identity are complex and impacted by individual values, religions, and cultural norms, the result of which may include expressions of racism, anti-religious hate, ableism, and in this case, homophobia, Superintendent Eric Conti wrote. I just want to interject here. See, it's not about recognizing differences. This whole group that claims to be about love and tolerance, not about recognizing differences at all, because that's what America was founded upon, was that all men are created equal, and not just men, even though they use the word men, they mean all people are created equal. That this is already a place where you can live and practice whatever form of expression that you want, whatever religion you want, or no religion at all. And you can share a classroom with people who have a different background, culture, or belief system than you. And you respect people by not forcing one particular ideology down everyone's throats and forcing them to accept your version of what's true. But these educators call anyone who disagrees with this as homophobic or transphobic. Interestingly, I am a Christian, but I've never called somebody who doesn't believe in God or Jesus Christ a Christianophobic. And yes, that is actually a word. I did look it up. I've never considered the absence of everyone celebrating what I believe to mean that they hate me or hate my beliefs. So why is it that this group who claim to have the market cornered on tolerance and love believe that the absence of public recognition of them, or the absence of getting your Christian friend to wave the pride flag, means that that person hates you? Just so bizarre, but none of this cult ideology makes any sense. And that's exactly what it is. It's a cult. The article goes on to say, the altercation sparked allies and parents to call for more diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts in the school, claiming that this type of intolerant rhetoric starts in the home. These displays of intolerance and homophobia are unacceptable and impact the whole community, Burlington Equity Coalition co-chair Nancy Bonacera said during the meeting on Monday night. We challenge Burlington Town leadership to take an active stand against hate under the guise of free expression. Principal Carrie Purchase apologized in a letter stating that she wanted to publicly state that I stand in solidarity and support of the members of the LGBTQ community who were impacted by these events. Notice how she's not going to stand in solidarity with the students who did not want to celebrate Pride Month or celebrate this, all of these, the alphabet identity mafia. She just wants to stand in solidarity with the people that feel like we need to celebrate them at every corner, at every minute of our lives. Days after the disastrous Pride celebration, anti-Semitic and racist graffiti was found inside the school's bathroom. However, Purchase told parents she does not believe it was related to the Pride outburst, the Boston Globe reported. Parents are now calling for the DEI board to be reinstated. It dissolved in 2022 after its one-year scheduled tenure was up. So if you don't know, it is a Marxist tactic that is instilled in people when they want to bring about their cause. It's to get people to argue for their cause in a way where they project exactly the behavior that they're doing on to the people who oppose it. So when they say this type of intolerant rhetoric starts in the home, these displays of intolerance and homophobia are unacceptable and impact the whole community, all of these things. Yeah, no kidding. You're the ones that are teaching your kids that unless my Christian kid celebrates your kid's pronouns, that they hate your kid. Trans activists are the ones storming our Capitol buildings, threatening to harm people who disagree with them and labeling people who say there are men and women and that's it as Nazis and bigots. And your kids are the ones who believe that people who do not celebrate them are actually trying to erase them. You're the ones that are lying to your kids and painting everybody else who does not acknowledge this, belief system as a threat to them. And now they want to bring in the brown shirts. The DEI boards to double down on that and force people to celebrate what you believe while continuing to use words like homophobe and transphobe for anyone who disagrees. But like I said, kids are standing up. They've had it. They know that none of this makes sense at all. As it turns out, you cannot socially construct the need for truth, reason, facts, and sanity out of people. People know when the belief system they're standing on is not healthy for them. They know when they hear things that do not make sense. It's why these activists are so angry, because they're so tied into knots about this stuff and they can't defend it, but they're so heavily invested in it that they can't let it go. It's frightening to take a chance on the people that are opposing it, that are trying to get them out of it, because they've been told that we're all dangerous and trying to harm them. Also, these kids in a high school math class who were shown a Pride cartoon, and this is how they responded.
Why are you showing this to kids?
Hey, I'll warn you guys now, if you're going to be inappropriate, I will have supervision down and give all of you a Saturday school for next year. So knock it off.
Okay.
Kids are standing up and they're saying no, they don't want to learn this. They actually want to go to school and learn things that are helpful to them, that are actually in education. But they're being sucked into this against their own will and against their own choice. And the kids that do accept it are being surrounded by it at home, or they're vulnerable in a way that makes it seem like abandoning their identity will solve whatever problem they're dealing with, or it will make them happier, or they just believe the adults in their lives who tell them that it's normal. But overall, the vast majority of kids know that this stuff is garbage, and they know it's being forced on them, and they also know that they have the right and the power to reject it. And I honestly think that it's because of this growing opposition to it, where people are finding their voice and speaking out against it and standing out against it. We saw a protest, I think it was in Glendale, California the other day, where these I think it was Muslims, I think it was Armenian people, that they were standing up because they don't want this stuff being taught to their kids. So people are speaking out against it, and kids are standing up against it. And I think this is why the censorship is becoming so much more heavy, because they can't have us planting those little seeds of doubts in someone's mind that has been led to believe that this is normal and that this is true. They can't have people, they can't have us give people a reason to question it, or to even approach those of us who want to challenge them on it, or at least have a conversation. They can't have any of those things. So they've got to stifle the conversation, and they've got to make sure that kids are only exposed to things that are going to affirm this as normal. I would love to hear your thoughts on this in the comments below. I love to have a conversation with you. Please subscribe to my channel. Please go over to Rumble and subscribe to me there. That link is in the description box. I also appreciate if you would hit that little thanks button and donate to the channel and support me in that way. Otherwise, I will see you in the next one. Bye.